What's going on, everybody? Today I'm out in the backyard looking at putting a different engine in my 52. The engine in here actually has a brand new head on it. Now the guy I bought it from said that he had just bolted this head on here and it's all ready to go, except it needed the valves adjusted. Well, I actually dug around, took the valve cover off the other day and found that the push rods were about 3/4 of an inch too long. The rocker assembly wasn't bolted down all the way. The rocker arms were all tight. I backed off the adjusters. You couldn't move or wiggle a single push rod in there. I actually unbolted the thing out of there, cleaned it all up, and then went over to one of my other trucks here that had another engine in it, but that was a disaster. Check this out. Yeah. Mice nest, no oil cap on there. It's been rusting for years. Not a big deal, but I was able to get a measurement off of one of them push rods. So yeah, we're gonna unbolt this here, loosen that thing up enough to get the push rods out, and we're gonna try to cut them down to length. So I may or may not have attempted to bar this engine over before I dug too deep into it, and it's possible that I bent a few push rods. So, not only are we going to be cutting some push rods down today, we're also going to be straightening a few. Here's your chance to learn from my mistakes. Let's go. This gap. Alright, here's my collection. Let's go see what we can do about this. Okay. Looks like we had a couple casualties in there too. That's a good one. So, should probably get those straightened out before I get too far. Well, nothing special about this. I'm just going to put it in the vise and straighten them out as much as possible. A little trick here on this end here. I'll just throw her on my balancing machine here. See what we got. She needs a little more straightening. I think that one's better than one of the straight ones. That is beautiful. So I got all the push rods straightened out here, and just kind of looking them over. They all have the same part number. It's MPR 205. And I looked them up, and it looks like they're a discontinued number. And even though they have the same number, they got some different ends on them. So I don't know if some are older or some are newer. I mean, some of them look used, some of them look new. I don't really know what happened to that engine when the head got rebuilt. Kind of sounded like the old guy was collecting parts for it and doing a little at a time. So all that I care is they're straight and they're the right length at this point. So let's see if we can cut them apart. So I notched it out just a little there, just so I can get a kind of a lip right here. And I'm going to take this punch, put it in the vise, and just kind of tap on that and see if I can get this cap popped off there. And there it is. So this is one of the push rods out of that purple truck with the rusted out engine, but this is the measurement I need. And I can't just measure the total length of this because some of the cups in here are deeper than others and slightly different sized. This one's actually a little longer, this is a shorter one. So you need to measure from contact point to contact point to get a true reading. And a little bit of a variance isn't going to matter too much in this engine. They got adjustable rockers on them, so get them close and good enough. I got some redneck engineering going here. But if I sit this, I drilled a screw through it just enough so this would bottom out in here. And if I sit that on the edge of this board, with that pressed up against it, and that backing, I make a mark here. And that's the mark I need. So I can do the same with this. And you'll see how the screw doesn't bottom out in there. That's okay. That's the difference in these end caps here. So this is going to be my mark right about there. It's where that cap bottoms out in the screw, and over here where I had my line marked. So I'll just cut that off, pop that cap back in there, and we should be good to go. We ain't got no time for that. Just hit it with some emery cloth here. Kind of flares it up a little bit. Okay. A little chamfering tool. I'm going to clean that out before you try pressing that end back in. Just so it doesn't get stuck halfway in there. That should work. Now to pound it in. My vise doesn't open up wide enough for this, so I'm just gonna tap it down. A big difference there. Now that I have one done and know that it's the right length, I can literally just grind this down, pop the ends off, measure what I have here, and just repeat the steps with the rest of them. So these are the two different style push rods I had in that batch. This is the one I just got done modifying, and the other style has a little bit different ball at the end of it, and the socket up top is a little wider, and it might be a little bit deeper in here, so I'm going to have to measure for these. But this style I can still I can just measure off of where I cut, and I don't have to spend too much time on them anymore. So I'm gonna hop into this here and get the rest of these taken care of. Okay, I'll get the measurement here for my ball style end. Using that old one again. That one. Have it adjusted for that screw. It sits completely flat on the board there. And this one is just about touching. There might be a 16th, maybe a 32nd. It's tight. I mean, these are pretty dang close. I don't know if you can see that there, but this newer one here is shorter than this one is, and that's where the difference is going to be made up, plus the fact that this one doesn't have as deep as a socket there either. I'm gonna make a mark here. Okay, that's where that one sits. And that's where that one sits. It isn't much at all. Just a touch longer than the original. So I just drew my mark right where the seam is on the original one onto my new push rod, and I'm going to leave the line there. I'll score it with this here first. looks pretty dang good there. Alright, I'm gonna get this last one ground down and popped off, and then I can get the rest of these all trimmed up to size. Okay, got that out of there. Now these inserts are a little bit different than the other style also. Longer, and these actually have a smaller starting shank. Smaller here, and then it widens out for a second step. These are just kind of tapered like a dowel. Well, let's get this one cut down here. Get it back in my groove. You can see, just like cutting brake lines, it kind of rolls in a little bit, so you want to chamfer that. Make sure it's completely cleaned out too. A little starting flare isn't going to hurt nothing. You won't have no issues pounding the socket in there, so that looks pretty good. Brand new. Now if you look here, got these lined up, and this screw sat in this one flush, so that old push rod is sitting up against that board, and there's just the tiniest gap in the new one. You can see that. That's exactly what I wanted. Perfect precision length. Can't even get those kind of results on a machine these days. Now that I got both styles cut to length here, I got a template for the rest of them. So I can zip us through the process of getting the rest of these all cut to length and put together. Here we go. Well, there we go. Got ourselves a nice set of newish push rods. Sorta. They all turned out pretty close to one another. Granted, they're not sitting perfectly straight, but I mean, 32nd, 64th of one another. This ain't no good way to show it. They're all kind of sitting crooked, but they're right in there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. You can adjust that out. I think it'll be just fine. And if you look at my notching I did on these, doesn't take much. I mean, you just got to get a groove started so you can just get in there with that punch and hit on the head of these to knock them out. This isn't going to work for all push rods. Some are welded here. If you see bluing around the top of that, they were friction welded. Probably not going to work. I got lucky with these. I mean, it's an old engine. It's very forgiving. Would I do this in a engine that was worth a lot more? No. But I had nothing to lose here. Figured I'd give it a shot, so I'm gonna put them in my balancing machine one more time. I was pounding on them just to kind of see if they got knocked out of balance at all. But that drill press works awesome actually for truing them up and seeing what you got. Follow it down. You can almost see where the bend starts. It'll be running smooth up to about this point, and once the wobble starts going, mark it and put it in the vise, bend it a little bit, bring it back. Very slick. Oh, let's just run these through here and see what they look like. See, this one's got a little bit of a wobble down here, but it's really not bad. Like I said, the ones that weren't bent, and this could have been one of them, had that little bit. I could get a little more crazy with it, but there, this one barely moves at all. That one's beautiful. A little bit again. Nothing to be worried about. Nice one. And this chuck has some run out in it too, so never gonna be a true measurement, but as long as it's not slapping around, I think we should be just fine. That one's beautiful. Probably the best one there. Oh, that one's just as good. They just keep getting better. Not bad. Decent. Got a little bit of a wobble to her too, but no big deal. This was that original one I used for a measurement. Let's just see what this one looks like in here. Oh yeah, that's wobbling worse than the rest of them. Well yeah, my first attempt at straightening push rods and trimming them down. I don't think I did too bad. You can go back to the truck here and get these put in. Well, as luck would have it, this rocker arm is cracked right there. So I'm going to pull one out of my old engine, the old rust bucket, and clean that up a little bit and replace that since I got it apart right now. The rest all look good, but That one's toast. Bring this in the garage and see if we can get a good one off of it. Okay. So here's my junker. And here's my old pitted out new one that I put on backwards. There we go. There. I'll get this set back in. Okay, so the ones I need to adjust right now are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Get them adjusted. Turn the engine over. Cylinder 1's at top dead center now. Give her a revolution so cylinder 6 is at top dead center, and then I can do the rest of them. The spec is 18 to 20 thousandths. I have them set at 20 right now. They're gonna change once I get it running, warmed up. I got 4, 6, 8, and then 10, 11, and 12 need to be adjusted yet. I'm gonna turn this over here so we can get those. All right. Push rods are all in, rockers are adjusted, head bolts are tight. None of these are broken. I think it's ready to go. Well, if you guys made it this far, I'm sure you're itching to see if it'll run. Unfortunately, there's a few things I need to do before I attempt to turn it over. I'm going to drain the oil, Put some fresh in there, make sure all the top end gets lubricated a little bit. The carburetor linkage is off. That needs to be addressed. Plugs, the ones that are in there were just fillers because there was nothing in it when I got it. The distributor was off. That might need to be timed a little bit. Get my plug wires back on. Not too much, but if I keep going on this segment here, it's just gonna get way too long. So I'm gonna get everything put together. I also gotta, well, there isn't even an ignition on here. I gotta find one of those, get that all wired up, get some jumpers and a battery so I can feed some power to the ignition and the starter to turn it over. I'll get all those things put together here, and in the next couple of days we'll do a little video on seeing if she runs. I really appreciate you guys watching, sticking around with me on this one. Any questions or comments, anything you would have done differently to cut those push rods down or straighten them, love to hear your guys' trips and ticks or tips and tricks, whatever you want to call it. Let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching.